Alright, finally getting to talk about one of my favourite shots, the hammer shot. In my opinion, definitely one of the best shots that you can utilise for self-protection and for combatives. We're going to break it down now, but before we get into it, I just want to ask, could you please consider clicking the subscribe button below? Please also consider clicking the like button, and if you have any questions regarding self-defense or combatives, please leave them in the comment section. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. So let's get straight into it. Why do I think that this is actually one of the best shots that you can utilize for self-protection? Quite simply, it's the body mechanics of it. You're striking with the outside of the hand along with the forearm, predominantly the forearm. You're striking with one of the most reinforced parts of the body. The other thing that I actually like about it a lot is that for us, when we're actually training, we like to break shots down into two categories. You have long range shots. Long range shots are usually palm strikes, the punches, the kicks. Short range shots would be shots that you would actually apply when the distance between you and your attacker is very minimal. So that would be, for example, an elbow, that would be a knee, that would be a gouge. The beauty about the hammer shot is it is one of the few shots that actually bridges that gap. It's something that can be used as both a long range shot and as a short range shot. So, quite simply, how do I utilize it? If the person is actually keeping a significant distance from me and he decides to actually throw a hook punch, I can step in straight away and actually apply this shot directly into the person's face. It's also not that target selective. With a lot of shots that you actually utilize, you have to be very target selective as to where exactly you're going to actually throw it. Like, for example, if you're throwing some sort of outward motion, it's probably best not to go into the body. It's more applicable to the head. The hammer shot isn't really that picky of a shot. It can actually apply here to the face. It can actually apply straight in here into the collarbone. You can apply it directly in here, straight into someone's chest. It can actually be utilized in multiple ways. The other thing that I like about it is that if the person, for example, comes in a little bit closer to you, say someone comes in to try and attack you with a bear hook, someone's trying to grip you, someone's trying to get their grabs on, this can actually be still utilized at a very short range. As you can see here, there's very little distance between me and my attacker, but I can still utilize this shot in a very effective way that can actually still do a significant amount of damage. It's an absolutely brilliant shot to utilize, and it's something that I think everybody should actually practice rigorously because it can be so effective. Now, keep in mind, as I said, you're utilizing the outside of the hand and the forearm when you're actually applying this shot, and the momentum of it is downwards. It's a downward momentum that you utilize when you throw this. So, for example, if you're training with a partner, you're doing a drill where the person throws a hook punch into you. I see an awful lot of people trying to practice this pretty much like a punch. They're doing it on a horizontal angle where they're just going out like this. The real effect of this shot actually comes from dropping your weight directly into it and directing the shot right down. So rather than coming straight out like this, you drop your weight downwards, which, if applied correctly, will actually force your attacker to actually drop his weight as well. Down, down. And as I said, you don't actually have to be 100% target selective with it. Into the face, into the side of the head here, straight into the rim of the body, into the straight into the collarbone. There's a lot of things you can do with this shot. So, how do you practice it? Quite simple. All you need is a single focus pad or a tie pad. It doesn't really matter which one you have. But I am actually going to do a video which is dedicated solely to training with the hammer shot. But just on a basic level, I just want to demonstrate this. The pad is held up from here. You put your hands up in a guard position. As I said, utilizing the outside of the arm, I'm going to drop my weight directly onto the pad. Now, one mistake that a lot of people make when practicing this shot is that they end up tapping the pad as opposed to utilizing their own body mechanics. What I mean by that is that you find when you're trying to practice it ballistically, a lot of people end up just tapping it a couple of times with their hand. That's a mistake. In order to actually utilize the full weight of this shot, what I like to do is I roll my shoulder with the fist aligned with my shoulder. I roll the shoulder, I strike, I come back to my starting position, roll again, and strike. That's my preferable way of practicing it. Also, I like to make the point that when practicing this, you can actually practice it here as a beginner with a grip on the back of the pad just to basically maintain that position. But when you're actually doing it, keep in mind, when you're rolling the shoulder, turn the hips as well. Rotate into it as if you're throwing a cross punch, and drop the weight down. Once you actually get comfortable with throwing it in that manner, try your best to actually practice it ballistically. Throw the shot multiple times so you get used to the momentum of actually consistently hitting with it. So you go for a 2 count. 1, 2, 2. Multiple times. From there, you multiply that to 3, 4, 5, 6, and keep in mind when you're actually practicing it, rotate the shoulder and rotate the hips forward when you're actually throwing it. So that's my basic breakdown of the hammer shot, why it's actually a really effective shot. I encourage everybody who is training to actually utilize it as much as they can. So once again, please consider hitting the subscribe button below. Please consider clicking the like button. And if you have any questions, throw them our way. We'll do our best to make a video about them as a response. Thanks very much.